రెండో విడత ఎన్నికలను ప్రశాంతంగా జరిపేందుకు అన్ని ఏర్పాట్లు పూర్తి చేసినట్లు తెలిపారు ఎన్నికల ప్రధాన అధికారి స్వైన్. 14 జిల్లాల్లో రేపు రెండో దశ పోలింగ్ జరగనుంది. ఈసారి పోలింగ్ శాతం రికార్డు స్థాయిలో ఉంటుందంటున్న స్వైన్తో మా ప్రతినిధి రహానా ఫేస్ టు ఫేస్.
మొత్తం సన్నద్ధమవుతా ఉంది. ఈ రెండో విడత పోలింగ్ కి సంబంధించి ఏర్పాట్లు ఏ విధంగా ఉన్నాయి అనేది మనతో మాట్లాడడానికి గుజరాత్ ఎన్నికల ప్రధానాధికారి స్వైన్ గారు మనతో ఉన్నారు. అంతా మాట్లాడదాం. సార్, వాట్ ఆర్ ద ప్రిపరేషన్స్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ ఇన్ సెకండ్ ఫేజ్?
We just finished the phase 1 on 9th. Now phase 2 has actually more voters. The first one was also substantial, more than 2 crore voters. Now this election will take place on 14th. This will be done in 25,558 polling stations spread over 14 districts. The first phase was 19 districts. All preparations are over. Everything is in place. All logistics have been carried out. Security drills have been carried out. All deployments have taken place. And we are absolutely ready now for the election.
How many EVMs and what about the personnel, sir?
You see, the personnel would be, the total personnel which we are using this election is close to 250,000 persons who are actually working in the polling booth. So on a rough guess, you can say it is almost 130,000 or so for this particular election. But apart from that, this time also we are having in every booth, we are having a concept called voter assistance groups, which are right outside every booth. So these people, they are mostly booth level officer and volunteers also. We are taking young people as volunteers. So a lot of people are joining in this thing. Plus the security forces, a huge number of security forces, state services, state forces, central forces. So they are all on this. On a rough guess, you can say almost the whole election could see more than 5 lakh people actually being used.
So voters are getting the slips also in this
Voters are getting the slips. Yesterday we took a review of all the districts. In fact, the commission also took a review of all the observers. And except for 1 or 2 districts which are very large. So where the slip distribution is roughly 92-93% and still going on. So we hope that it could reach a much bigger figure. The smaller districts have almost reached 99%, 100% everywhere. Voter slip has actually been a big success. In the phase 1, we could see that a lot of people did appreciate the concept of the modified voter slip. This is something which has been introduced by the Commission for these elections, Himachal and Gujarat. This is a voter slip which is much larger, which shows all your details, which shows the BLO's contact numbers and all, so that in case you have a doubt, you can call him or her up. And it also shows a photograph of the voter. It also shows a Google map of your booth and how do you go to. So this is definitely a much more elaborate kind of a voter slip. And with 90% plus, in many cases closing on to 100%, this definitely will be a very big benefit to the voter.
So what about the sensitive areas and sensitive booths in second phase?
So we don't really call it sensitive booth any longer. We call it critical booth and we call it vulnerable areas. They are very well identified. There is a very elaborate exercise on how it is done. It is done by the DM, done by the SP, SSP of the area, the Commissioner of Police of the area. Observers, once they come in, they also go into the list. They also visit different areas and find it out. So this data is actually kept as a confidential data, but we have good reasons to believe that very, very elaborate work has been done, and all these booths and the areas have been very well identified, and sufficient forces are definitely in place to manage things.
In the last phase, you found that EVMs, lapses in the EVMs. So how you are taking actions to not repeat the incident?
That is true. We definitely had issues from a number of polling stations where, you see, it typically happens in 2 ways. One is when the mock poll starts in typical booths, there is a possibility that some kind of a defect in the machine could be detected, some kind of counter failure or clock failure. In those cases, it is simpler, because machines are replaced even before the poll starts, and even if there is a delay. But if a machine fails, well, once a poll has started, yes, it takes time because a new machine has to come in, it has to be installed. So we had these issues from many places. Purely percentage-wise, we would say that it is not more than what would usually happen in any election anywhere. But at the same time, we felt that maybe the time which was taken in particularly few cases was probably more than required. So maybe what we had tried in Kutch, instead, along with keeping reserve machines with the sector officers, the general officers, we had also experimented with creating clusters in different parts, because Kutch, as you know, is a huge district. So naturally, reaching there and replacing is very difficult. So that is why zonal officers definitely kept spare machines, but in many places clusters were also created, which could also rush a machine in case there is a defect. This time I have taken a meeting with all the district collectors yesterday only, and we have advised them that if you have a remote area and if you have an area which is difficult to reach, you should think of clusters. We have time and we are working on that. So maybe our speed of replacement would be much faster this time.
In those areas here, first where this lapses has happened, you are putting that re-elections.
No, not exactly. The lapses, machines are replaced everywhere. The re-election of the repoll which has been ordered by the commission yesterday in 6 booths in 4 districts, that did not happen because the machines were not replaced or the machine went dead. It happened primarily because the mock poll, after the mock poll, the presiding officer was expected to start on a clean slate. He is supposed to have a all clear switch. This very unfortunately had not taken place in the 6 booths, and that is why the commission decided that the voting has to take place again.
That will be again on 14th.
This will be taking place on 14th.
So what about the webcasting and mobile team squares?
Webcasting would be done this time. Last time we had tried almost on 1400 odd booths. This time we are doing it almost out of 1700 plus booths.
So how much percentage you are expecting? First phase there is 66%.
First phase was 66.75. So we cannot put a number to it, but I will definitely hope that we break the last time's record, which is an all-time record actually. In 2012 it was 72% polling, which is an all-time record. So I mean, we keep appealing, keep hoping that more voters vote and we break the records.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
ఇది ఎన్నికల ప్రధానాధికారి స్వైన్ చెప్తా ఉన్నారు. ఎన్నికలకు సంబంధించి రెండో దశ ఎన్నికలకు సంబంధించి పూర్తి ఏర్పాట్లు చేశాము. అదేవిధంగా తొలి విడత సమయంలో ఈవీఎంస్ ఫెయిల్ అయిన చోట్ల రీపోలింగ్ ఇదే సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ తో పాటు చేస్తున్నామని చెప్తా ఉన్నారు. కెమెరా పర్సన్ రాంబాబుతో రెహానా NTV ఇన్ గాంధీనగర్.